The Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi have sent serious message to Inec and others as Oshomole respond to him on Channels television. Meanwhile, Justice Binta Nyako withdraws from Nnamdi Kanu's trial as IPOB leader rebuke her for disobeying Supreme Court order. Also, Nigerian Defence Minister Bello Matawalle has addressed the accusation of him dialoguing with bandits while speaking on Channels television. Alright, I'm going to be giving you guys the full details of this news, but please help us to like and share this video so that YouTube and Facebook can recommend it to more people. Thank you. So, Peter Obi of the Labour Party has described the Edo State governorship election as a blatant example of state capture and continuous goals undermining of the nation's democratic process and values. Obi said that the society will eventually take its revenge on the agencies and the individuals being used to undermine democracy in future. The Labour Party presidential candidate in the last election specifically warned lecturers and others complicit in perpetuating what he called charade to reflect deeply on the roles they are playing in damaging the foundation of the country's democracy. In a statement on his X handle, Obi said, "What happened over the weekend in the name of election in Edo State does not in any way represent the democratic process which we choose as a method of electing our political leader. Instead, it was a blatant example of state capture and continued gross undermining of our democratic process and values. Any nation whose leadership recruitment process is so fatally flawed is doomed, and we are all seeing the effect in our country. I urge those in authority not to allow this situation to stand or depend on it to remain in power. As a country, we have invested significantly in IREV and BVAS, and they must be allowed to function and use properly in order to free our electoral process from the massive falsification that has plagued it. So the agencies and individuals being used to undermine our democracy simply because they hold position of authority, please remember that your time in office is not eternal. The society that you are helping to destroy today will eventually take a revenge on you tomorrow." So while speaking on Channels television, the former Edo State Governor Adams Oshomole have responded to Peter Obi's statement. Alright, I will let you guys watch the response and I'll be right back.
I watch, check the records. The candidate of the Labour Party, of which Obi is probably their leader, it doesn't seem to be interested in party. He's more of obedient, not party. He's not an institutional person. All right? Their candidate, unfortunately, well, we can't say it's unfortunate because, that is the will of the people. Report says that he lost his unit to PDP, not to us. So if a candidate lost his unit to PDP, not to APC, maybe his attack will be on PDP. But I also noticed that when they came for a rally in Benin, he didn't wait till the end of the rally. Or if he waited, at a point, he disappeared from the screen. But I don't want to really talk about Peter Obi. He's my good friend. We were governors at about the same time. I invited him to commissions of project for me in Edo State, and he did. We are good friends. It's just like the nature of politics. Sometimes, I don't want to throw away all my friendship or to throw away all my goodwill. But the truth of the matter is, from his sitting or from his hometown in Awka or in Lagos or wherever he was speaking from, certainly he was not in Benin. That is how he arrived at that conclusion. But in any case, I'm not surprised. Don't forget that only last year, Obi and Atiku were both claiming that they won. Two people claiming ownership of one phone. Two people. Oh, no, it's my own. Oh, it's my own. So, I've been sure one of them must be lying, at least. And yet, they were entertained.
So, moving forward, Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday ended off from proceeding over the trial of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Nyako withdrawal from the trial followed Nnamdi Kanu application in open court, requesting her to excuse herself from the trial due to her disobedience of orders of the Supreme Court. So, at a resumed sitting, The IPOB leader had ordered his counsel, Alo Ejimako, to sit down while he made reference to the judgment of the Supreme Court where alleged bias against the judge was raised. While Ejimako was trying to persuade the court to suspend the trial due to the fact that Kanu was denied the opportunity to prepare his defense, the detained Kanu rose from his seat and ordered his lawyer to sit down. So while speaking for himself, Nnamdi Kanu said, "My lord, I have no confidence in this court anymore. I ask you to excuse yourself because you did not abide by the decision of the Supreme Court. I can understand it if the DSS refuses to obey a court order, but for this court to refuse to obey an order of the Supreme Court is regrettable. I am asking you to excuse yourself from this case," Kanu stated. Though the Prosecution Counsel urged the court to proceed with the trial, Justice Bita Unyako said she was minded to excuse herself from the case. Alright, so moving further, the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, has vehemently denied allegations linking him to the sponsorship of the bandits in Zamfara State, challenging his accusers to present concrete evidence. During an interview on Channels TV on Tuesday, Matawalle addressed the accusations, asserting his decision to engage in dialogue with bandits was a strategy aimed at restoring peace in the troubled state. He noted that similar approaches were adopted by other governors across northern Nigeria. He emphasized that the dialogue had been endorsed by governors in states such as Niger and Sokoto and led to the recovery of adopted individuals and arms. Bello Matawalle further suggested that those pointing fingers at him might themselves be complicit in the crimes they accused him of. However, he refrained from naming specific individuals. Matawalle also highlighted the sources of dialogue in addressing insecurity, noting the recovery of weapons and the release of thousands of adopted individuals, including foreign nationals. Alright, I'm going to let you guys watch the interview on Channels Television and I'll be right back.
Let me tell you, yes, I initiated the reconciliation dialogue because when I became a governor, I look at the scenario, what is happening. Why bandits are killing people in Zamfara State? So I was thinking the best way to tackle the situation. So I have been getting a lot of advice from different sectors, which I ended up to call a stakeholders meeting at that time. I called the traditional rulers, I called the religious leaders, the security agencies, the leaders of the Fulani, the leaders of the Ansaki. That is the vigilante group. I will hear from each group differently. I did not combine them together. So after we now finish discussions, I now sat down with the security agencies of the state then. And remember, security agencies comprise police, army, DSS, immigration, all of them, civil defense. So we sat down together based on the recommendations that we have from the people of the state, from the traditional rulers. So we have a recommendation that the only option that time is for us to dialogue with the bandit.
Was it a success? Did it work?
Let me tell you, that is the recommendations we have. Then after I sat down with all the security agencies, they are alive. We have some of the CPs, they rose to the rank of DIGs and some AIGs, they are all alive. We have some of them who are now retired generals, they are there. So which after we get this recommendation, we say, okay, now the best way, let's go for the dialogue as recommended by the traditional institutions, by the religious leaders of the state, by the stakeholders of the state, by all the leaders of the state. I have no option rather to do that because it's better for me than to see bandits killing my subjects, killing individuals in the state. So when we enter into this dialogue, that was where we recorded a lot of successes. We recovered a lot of ammunitions. And we secured the release of abducted persons in thousands. The record is there. And let me tell you, what they are saying, most of them, they forgot. Even President Buhari, when he went to get the Chibo girls, you should remember, what did he do? What did he do with the Boko Haram during his tenure? He now, reconciles with the BH and release some of their victims while the Chibo girls were released. And it's a global practice everywhere in the world. That is permissible. If I want my people not to be killed, you can enter agreement with those people so that you can secure the release of those innocent people. What is happening now between Israel and Palestine? It's the same thing. They are now begging the Palestine to release their. That is.
But considering.
Do you understand? So now, if people are saying that because of that, everybody in Nigeria knows that there was a time that I initiated the dialogue. Yeah. That's the time that I did that. And I have no regret for that because I recorded a lot of success then. How many people, including some foreign nationals, I secured the release of them without paying ransom, without paying single kobo. Let me give you an episode. A junior brother to Dawda Lawan was kidnapped 7 months before I took over. He was kidnapped. His name is Yusuf. After we initiated this dialogue, they requested about 500 million ransom, which Dawda refused to pay. But it was based on this dialogue, this person was released unconditionally without paying a ransom. Go and ask. The record is there.
Did they know this? Because some of them seem to say no, that
it's aware. Everybody, no, this is in a public domain. It is not meant for him to accept, but the record is there. The people of Zamfara can testify to that. They can testify to that. Not me. I cannot be judge of myself. But you should go and ask the people of Zamfara. The record is there. The record will not lie.
So guys, that is it for you all. Please let me know what you think in the comment section, and please help us to like and share this video so that YouTube and Facebook can recommend it to more people. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you. Amen.